Let's imagine that Maxwell, a freelance graphic designer, is reviewing his tax situation for the fiscal year. He has gathered information on potential itemized deductions, including mortgage interest, state taxes paid, and charitable contributions. Maxwell is contemplating whether to opt for standard deduction or itemize his deductions. Bearing in mind the need for tax optimization, which of the following should be his primary consideration in making this decision? Is it A, the total amount of his potential itemized deductions compared to the standard deduction amount for his filing status? Or is it B, the impact of his filing status on his eligibility for itemized deductions? Or C, the possibility of undergoing an audit by the IRS if he chooses to itemize his deductions? Or finally, is it D, the amount of income tax withheld from his freelance payments throughout the fiscal year? Before we dive into the answer, a quick overview of the concepts being tested. Here's what you need to know. Choosing between itemized and standard deductions is a key tax planning consideration. The primary factor influencing this decision should be the comparison of the total amount of potential itemized deductions against the standard deduction available for the taxpayer's filing status. Opting for itemized deductions is beneficial only if the total amount exceeds the standard deduction, thus lowering the taxable income more effectively. Now, after reviewing the options, it's clear that option A is correct. Here's why. Selecting between itemized and standard deductions effectively depends on which option reduces the taxpayer's taxable income the most. If the total of potential itemized deductions is greater than the standard deduction for the taxpayer's filing status, it would be more beneficial to itemize. Here are the reasons the other options are incorrect. Option B, while filing status affects the standard deduction amount, it does not inherently affect eligibility for itemizing deductions. Option C, the fear of an audit should not influence the decision to itemize or take the standard deduction as long as deductions are legitimate and well documented. And option D, the amount of income tax withheld is not directly relevant to the decision between itemizing deductions and taking the standard deduction. Here we go. Let's end with the must-know gem of the question so you know what to do if you see a similar question in the future. Always remember that the primary consideration in choosing between itemized and standard deductions is the comparison of the total amount of all possible itemized deductions against the standard deduction for the taxpayer's filing status. Filing status affects the amount of standard deduction, but not eligibility to itemize. Taxpayers should make deduction decisions based on tax benefit, not audit fear.